Hello again, friends, and welcome to another segment here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. Bonjour, mes amis. As you can see, we have a few things that might remind you a little bit of France, including mon petit beret. So, bonjour, bienvenue, and santé. So let's get started. What I'd like to do today is present to you another cocktail, but it's a combination. It's a cocktail that needs some wine. And the wine that you need for this cocktail is a sparkling wine. I happen to have one here, which I'll talk about in a minute. So let me open this and then I'll give you some more details. You know how much, for all of you following, you know how much I love to get these started with a little bit of sparkling. So let me... Oh, very nice. À votre santé. Bienvenue. So, today I'm going to feature a cocktail that combines, we're actually going to do two versions of it, that combines sparkling wine with gin, and then another version that combines sparkling wine with cognac. And the name of this drink is called the French 75. I don't want to turn this into a history lesson, but the French 75 was named over 100 years ago during World War I for a gun that the French used in World War I called it was the 75. It was a machine gun, and they used it very effectively in World War I. So lo and behold, through the myths and all the stories, was born the French 75. In French, they simply call it the 75. And for you French speakers, that's the way you say 75 en français. So today I'd like to make for you two of them, two French 75s, and they are going to be made with this sparkling. I'm going to talk about that first, and then I'll talk about each of the other ingredients that go into this drink. So first of all, I'm going to feature for you a wine from the Finger Lakes, from a place called Domaine-le-Sur. They are French people who finally, when he first opened, he said his goal was to eventually make a sparkling. You can't call it champagne, but it's made in the méthode champenoise, and this one happens to be a Blanc de Noir. For a French 75, they recommend a champagne because the yeastiness helps with it, but you can use any other drink that is sparkling. They just say that the champagne style, the champagne grapes, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, are preferred for the profile of this drink. It's really not a very complicated drink, and it's one that's rather simple to make and put together. So let me set that aside. That's hard to do because I love that. And let's get started. So I'm going to do the first French 75. That is the French 75 made with gin. And the gin that I chose, believe it or not, I happen to have in my gin collection a French gin. It's Citadel. And this one is their Jardin d'été, their summer garden edition. And this one, the reason I chose it is that this drink is very lemony. There's lemon juice in the concoction. And this was also infused with yuzu, with whole lemon, orange. It's a very citrus forward gin, which I think will fit very well for this drink. So I have it already pre-mixed. In this container, there's a little bit of ice, 1.5 ounces of gin, and 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, and 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. Shake it up. You do not include the bubbly in the shake-up. You top it off with that. Allow me to grab my glass, which I like to keep frozen. We'll bring that right out. It's very important to keep your drink glass cold for this drink. So very simply, we're done. That's the heavy part of this drink. That's your gin, your lemon juice. And the recipe calls for a top off, 3 ounces more or less. That looks like to be about 3. Garnish it with a little lemon. I always like to rub it around the rim, throw it in, and let's have at it. Very light, très bien, very smooth. It's got a it's got a tartness to it, which I think you would really like. This is kind of a springtime, summertime drink. And this one is absolutely wonderful. I've had these before. I don't do them a lot. I think the choice of gin could possibly change the profile. You can use whatever gin you want. I just would stay away from anything that's kind of out there, like a gin that's got more eucalyptus or more of something more floral that's not citrusy. You want to try to find yourself a gin that has that citrus tone to it, because that's what makes this drink. That's very good. It's very powerful. Let's not kid ourselves here. We've got some gin and some wine. Anytime you make these combo cocktails, you have to be very, very careful. So that's that one. So now in this container, I have added a shot of this Anzac. It's one of my favorite by Martell. It is a, Martell VS, which is one of the cocktails that is very flexible, or one of the cognacs that is very flexible in that you can just have this in a nice cognac snifter, or you can use this. This is the kind, you want to use the real expensive cognacs in your mixed drinks. You want to use one like this, which is kind of very versatile. So this is one that you can use for the drink I'm about to make. So this one is it's fantastic. I've had it before. It's in this container. I'm going to shake it up. Let that rest. Pardon me while I grab my second glass. Voila. And here you have it. So let's try the difference with cognac versus gin. A little different color. Cognac has a caramelized color to it. We'll get these shakers out of the way. We'll bring in our Domaine Lesueur bubbly, about 3 ounces. We'll take our lime, squeeze it around a little bit. You don't have to stir these, and we'll see what the difference is. Different smell, different aroma. That one's a little richer, a little fuller. It's got that, for those of you that like cognac, it's got that little bit of vanilla on the end of it, as compared to this one is a little bit more citrusy. But if you notice right there in the picture, the difference in the color. You can see this one, the color here, the depth of the color is actually symbolic of the depth in the drink. This one you taste a little more. This one's just very light and very refreshing. So there you have it, my friends, mes amis. They're both very, very nice. So go find yourself some nice cognac. Get yourself some Citadel gin. If you don't want to get Citadel, just get one that has a lighter gin would be better. Nice and light, heavy on the citrus if you can find it. Get yourself a bottle of this is I'll call this Finger Lakes champagne. This is a vintage champagne. This is a 2012 vintage, and if you know anything about good sparklings that are made well, they will age for a long, long time. So to my friends at Domaine Lesueur, fantastique. This is a very good Méthode Champenoise Blanc de Noir from Keuka Lake, Domaine Lesueur in the Finger Lakes. If you can get there, I highly recommend a visit. If you can't, have a friend pick up some for you who might be wine traveling for you. So until then, I don't know which one to pick up. So instead, I'll just pick up the straight stuff and say, à la prochaine, bonjour mes amis, à votre santé.